Market update here on the 30th. So pretty good sell-off after the morning gap up, and we're looking at this right here is where we started at the day. And I talked about in the last video 352, 353. We went a little bit higher than that, 354, which it looked like a third wave right here, and I was expecting a pullback and another move higher, potentially up here to the gap fill around 359. But instead, we sell off and came all the way down here, filled this gap down here. And I don't see any way that this is a fourth wave right here. If it is, it would be very unorthodox for Elliott wave. The only possible way would be if it's a diagonal. And so based on this, I would say that we pretty much topped out right here. If it goes higher from here, then that would be, I would say the probability of that is kind of low. So the question is, though, what is this? And it looked great. It looked like it was going to be 5 waves to me. It was 1, retrace to 50%. I was looking for this down to here. And instead, it filled the gap and then just gets a crazy V wave back up here to 351.21. And so it's kind of looking like maybe there's a first wave on the 1 minute time frame up here on the top. No, see, this is 5 waves right here, and then this hit the 50%. And then this came down here, didn't quite get to the 1.61. So it looks like an ABC move, which is not what you want to see at the top. So that's kind of where the indecision is on this. Because it should be a fourth wave, but it ended up being an ABC move. So I guess this still is in play. It would have to be a diagonal. If it goes up here, I'd probably look for 359. But we'll have to see what happens tomorrow, because this is pretty unexpected for a fourth wave to start like this. And this is definitely not an impulse wave, so it has to be an ABC move. So that's not necessarily really bearish either. So we're kind of stuck in between a spot that we'll have to find out what happens tomorrow and get a better idea from there, I guess. But pretty much I would lean towards downside over the upside. And Apple, same thing. It came up here and hit the top of this trend line right here. I think that this could be still a B wave when it comes back down here for an expanded flat to fill this gap, or it's completing a fifth wave. I looked at the wave on lower time frames. Didn't really look to me like a fifth wave, but I guess we'll see. My target was 182, so kind of waiting tomorrow to get more direction on what's going on here, since it's kind of indecision here with this choppiness. Tesla, again, I'm leaning towards the downside. I could see how you could say this has one more move higher. Based on this being a third wave, pullback, fourth wave, fifth wave is my current count. But someone could count this as the entire third wave, and we're pulling back for a fourth wave. But again, we got a pretty explosive move right here, and then we got A, B, C right here. So I would lean towards the downside, and plus the fact that we're in a daily supply right here, this gray box. So I would look for some downside in Tesla from here. But again, it's in that area where it could go either way. Microsoft, again, should have topped out here, but more indecision, choppiness all day. This is the fifth wave for sure, though. And it looks like 5 waves to me, so we should be heading down. And I can't give any price targets right now because you got to see the formation. We don't really have a formation on any of these stocks yet. We just have a little bit of a sell-off, so we got to see what happens over the next couple of days. NVIDIA probably completed 5 waves, but again, same boat. Because you can see here, this is a third wave. We pull back here. We don't quite come back into the first wave. And so, again, this could be the end of the 5th wave right here, or this is a 4th wave right here, and we're looking for something like this. I mean, the second wave is actually probably back here. No, I mean, it's probably right here. It didn't really retrace that much, and then we got the gap up. So this is possible, but again, it could go either way. Amazon. So Amazon did not fill the gap yet at 125.55, and same indecision right here. But if I was looking at this whole structure right here, I would be looking for about 120. This is about $7 more than this. We hit 114, we hit 121. So I would say this is either topped out, or if it goes higher, I would look for 125. There is a gap here at 133, but I don't think we're going to get that much more upside. SPY, fill the gap, 5th wave diagonal. That would be the 5th wave overall. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So again, showing that we should have topped out by now. The reason I say should is because it's really hard to say, oh, we definitely topped out when the market just keeps on going higher no matter what happens. So we'll see what happens with the debt ceiling this week. Last thing to look at, I'll look at DXY and then Bitcoin. I didn't play any tech stocks today at all. I didn't really do that much. I bought some puts on QQQ on this pullback right here, and I got out of them around here. That's pretty much all I did. DXY, I'm still looking for a double top on this. Hasn't quite gotten there yet, so I would look for some more upside in that. And it looks like it could be in a 3rd wave right now, so maybe we get a little bit of chop and then go a little bit higher than that. So that should be pretty bearish in the market too. Overall, on the structure of this move for QQQ, I showed you this in the last video, and then you can copy that and put it here where the X wave is, and we pretty much hit that. We went a little bit higher than that, but the 1.61 fib of the W wave is sitting around 358, right around that gap fill. And so it's possible for it to go higher and hit the 1.61 fib, but I would not think it would go above that any farther. And then if this were to be a nested 5-wave move, then you'd want to see this move right here get outside the Y wave, but that's at 362. So that's another reason why I think we're not in a bull market, because this is not an impulsive move to me. If it was an impulsive move, we would have seen a more straight line move like this. It would have been like that. But instead, we chopped around too much, and then we're not outside the parallel line. So I think WXY still stands. Where do we go from here? We could be topped. That could be the very top of the market. Whatever it tops at this week could be the top. We could go down to new lows. That's very valid. That's possible. Or we could get something like W, pullback X, and then get another Y wave higher, and challenge all-time highs maybe. So that's still possible. That would just make the whole structure W, and we'd still pull back for X. And honestly, this can go on forever. You could have another W right here, pull back X, and go higher. So there's no way of knowing right now. We got to see the structure of the move over the next couple of days. But I would lean towards we topped out. But also don't be surprised if we fill the gap at 359, and that should be as far as possible as it could go. So I'll leave it at that. Actually, let's look at Meta real quick. It was up a little bit higher. But same thing. It just went higher than expected. But it's a 5th wave here. So we have 3, 4, and this should be the 5th wave right here. So I would not be long any of these tech stocks from here. If they go higher from here, I think it's pretty much just gambling. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's look at Bitcoin, and then that'll be it for today. Bitcoin still chopping around. If we zoom out here, I still think Bitcoin's got a little bit more downside. I think everyone's getting bullish here, but I think that we got to come down here to below 25,000, maybe even down here to 23 one more time, and then it can go higher. Because if this is a second wave right here, it's only retraced to the 0.38 fib. So we'll see what happens. Still need some more clarity on where the market's going, but for the most part, if you follow my chart the last week or so, we pretty much hit my target. And so there's no point in really going long here. And if you do, you're probably just gambling. So anyway, that's it. Leave me a comment, like, subscribe for more updates, and I'll catch you tomorrow.